we forget because it's become an expectation. A lot of infrastructure you can see, bridges, roads, our electrical infrastructure, a lot of it's above ground. Almost all of ours is below ground. And so it's out of sight, out of mind, and we have that old of pipe in the ground. Water is something that we do take for granted. You know, if we don't have water, we die. And so it has become just an expectation. Our first water system in Bowling Green came about in 1868. That's when the first water company was formed. It wasn't until about 1872 that we've got some maps that show the water system that was built. Prior to that, there were just wells or people gone straight to the river. So in 1872, we were pumping water out of the Barren River down at near Chestnut Street and State Street, where our plant is currently located, and they were pumping water out of the river. Now, keep in mind, there was no treatment at that time. It was just raw river water. They were pumping it into town, and they had an old steam-driven pump station there, and whatever came down the river, that's what they were getting. And you know what? They were glad to have it. That was progress.
Yeah.
Because they had running water all the time. You think about, prior to that, wells go dry, and so it was real problematic. So they did that in 1868. The particular pipe we have that photo of was dug up on Reservoir Hill. We were making some improvements up there near an old pump station, and we dug that pipe out. I did a little bit of research. That pipe came from a foundry in Louisville that's no longer there. It has a date on it and some other markings.
1880, and what would it have been made of?
It was cast iron.
Cast iron.
We don't use cast anymore.
Well, but you know, that begs the question. So 1888 is when this pipe was made. Does that mean it's just a really good pipe because it's lasted all these years? Or we are sorely behind in taking a look at updating our systems?
Well, it was a good pipe because it is still in operation. We haven't had any problems with it. Cast iron was made differently then. There may be some cast iron pipes still made, I'm not really sure.
You mentioned something about not being able to look at what's underground. Okay, so we see the utility poles and we know that that's there and it's a visual thing, but when you can't see underground what our pipes look like. So how do we stand, you know, you represent BGMU, but there's a whole country of these aging infrastructure situations. But in our town, in this region, could we have a Flint, Michigan situation?
I am here to reassure you that that would be not possible in my opinion. Not that it couldn't, but we will not allow it to happen. We have great relationship with our regulators.
Federal and state?
Federal and state. We have a very proactive team of people, and that team is empowered to ask questions and say why, or this isn't good. It's sort of akin to a factory assembly line where all of the people working on the line have the authority to stop the line if something isn't right.
So you don't have to wait till you get the corporate whatever to say that.
This is not a dictatorial, command control sort of arrangement where if somebody sees a problem, they can say stop, we've got to deal with this.
And figure it out.
Right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.